My name is Danny Oslo. When I was younger, I think I spent most of my time doing like jujitsu and taekwondo. I did a lot of like martial arts growing up, and then I got to Virginia Tech. I ended up joining the cheer team. I actually had you as a coach, so that's how I got to know you. Joined the cheer team at Tech. It was a whole new realm of athletics to me. I also put on probably like 20 pounds of muscle between the like strength training program and actually cheerleading. So I got a lot stronger from that, and kind of like got a love for like getting stronger, and like kind of put a new perspective of like what working out in the gym can look like. And then since graduating, I found my way back to jiu-jitsu and competing when I can. When I first got out, I had like a small break for money, but like got back into it, competed a couple times, ended up taking gold, which was cool. Just got a promotion in jiu-jitsu, so now I'm in like the bottom of a bracket again, so I'm trying to work my way into competing. When I was in high school, I hurt my back, and I'm to be honest, I'm not fully sure to the extent of like what the injury was, other than I think I had maybe herniated some discs. Went to a chiropractor for a while, and it did stop me from doing any competition that I was doing in high school. Went to the chiropractor, got it better. I think I re-aggravated it doing cheer and probably not stretching enough, like not doing my mobility work. So it's been a constant battle dealing with that. I still like every once in a while it flares up with me, but doing like incorporating a lot of like mobility and like core strength stuff has been like whenever something acts up, I'm able to eventually recover and come back to a point where I feel comfortable competing. After I graduated, like having been exposed for the first time of like having an actual like coach who knows what they're doing, designing your program, versus before that, I was probably just doing like your typical bro split stuff. The progress I made in the 2 years that I had an actual coach compared to the progress I made prior was pretty clear. It was very, very different. It was a very different level. So when I stopped doing that and went back to like normal lifting, I tried to incorporate what I had learned, and I think I was better for it. I was able to make my own programs that were better than before. But when I was starting to like think about actually competing for jiu-jitsu, I knew I had some goals that I didn't have experience doing. Like when I was training for cheer, it was all about like I need to get a lot stronger, a lot more explosive, but having really like high level like hip mobility and the conditioning wasn't a part of it, and that was something I didn't necessarily feel like I knew how to program for. And I was trying, but I wasn't sure if I was doing it well. And then, I mean, programming around my back pain, like having someone who's a professional who knows a little bit more about like what exercises target what muscle groups and how to work in like stability while achieving your other goals, not having to do them separately and take too much time. Those things came into play. And when you had reached out, it was a combination of you reaching out and telling me that like you were doing the coaching, and I was obviously very familiar with your style. I knew it worked really well for me. But then also I knew like a couple of the other people that I knew through cheer were also using you, and they were all said they had a great experience. So I figured like if I had this like goal of competing and I wanted to kind of take myself to a different level and learn more about how I could train, that like it made sense to hire a coach instead of trying to figure it out myself and probably stumble around for a lot more time before I figured it out. We had like our initial interview, and I told you what my goals were, and it was pretty clear from like the first cut of the program that it was in line with those goals. I think like there was definitely like a period where there was some back and forth in terms of like, this exercise really works well for me. Can we do that one more? And this one, like actually like when I do this one, it really hurts my back right now. Like, is there something else I can do in its place? So the programs like tweaked over time and became more and more targeted towards me. I think definitely started off in a really good place from where they were, but giving it like a few weeks or like a couple cycles of programming into it, it got more and more specific to like not just what works for my general goal, but what's going to work for me to achieve that goal. If I'm trying to figure stuff out on my own, a lot of times I'll find out an exercise isn't good for me the hard way, versus I don't think anything that I was given from you, especially when I tried new exercises, it was never like try this and put on like 95% of your max on there and figure it out. So I was able to navigate and generally avoid back injury. I don't really think I had any back injuries or like happen as a result of the training that I was doing. For competition, one of the biggest parts for me was like accountability. Like the thing that I don't have trouble doing is like I don't have trouble like getting in my compound lifts. Like I'm gonna do my compound lifts probably if I have someone telling me to do them or not, but I'm probably not gonna do conditioning as much as I should. I like if there's a timer for the timed rest, like if I'm making my program, I might give myself a little slack, or if it's really hard, I might just be, oh, I made that too hard for myself. Like, this isn't how it's supposed to go. Versus like if a coach is telling you, okay, you got like 1 minute rest, and like they like, and you know that, and you trust that they know what they're talking about, then like you're just gonna, you have to push through it, and like you will get better at it. And I did get better at it. Like my conditioning was far better. I noticed it like in practice, and like I was well beyond like my training partners that I had. Like I could tell after doing like training consistently for a year that my conditioning was better than the people who were only doing their conditioning on the mat. And like physical appearance wise, like I definitely got leaner because I think I had started to stray from, probably because I was not doing my conditioning as a part of it. I wasn't always making the healthiest choices eating either, and I like definitely looked better. I mean, you look better and you feel better when you're putting in the work. So I don't think my aesthetics were necessarily my goal, but they come with it as a side effect to me, and I felt way better, and that's the thing that mattered the most to me. Like if I can move well, mobility again, like when I'm doing movements that incorporate mobility into them instead of like, again, I'm not always the best at doing like the same thing with conditioning. I'm not always best about like, taking the extra time after to stretch. But there were a lot of times where it was kind of built into my programming where like there was a movement I was doing, like a Cossack squat, that it's you're getting mobility while you're doing it. And those types of things, maybe I wouldn't think to do on my own before the programming, but my mobility was getting better because of it. And I was able to like do movements on the mat and like achieve like positions and submissions that I was before like unable to do because I wasn't mobile enough. So it started off, I told you that I wanted to go compete, and that meant that I was gonna have to, instead of prioritizing like just getting bigger and stronger, I needed to prioritize my conditioning. I needed to cut down about 10, 12 pounds from where I was to meet the weight division that I wanted to compete in. And I had like a certain, I don't remember what the time window was, but as we progressed from being far away from the tournament to closer, I got more and more heavy into the conditioning. I mean, that kind of corresponded as well as how things were going in my practices on the mat. Like as we were preparing for the competition, I was also conditioning more on the mat, and I was more prepared for that conditioning. You definitely gave me advice on how to eat. I wasn't particularly interested in like counting calories, which is sometimes like counterproductive to like losing weight. If you're serious about wanting to lose weight, you probably need to get serious about tracking at least your macronutrients, if nothing else. But I felt like I could do it relatively intuitively, and you kind of gave me the trust to do that as long as I was getting all of my other work in and getting my like additional cardio time in. And I did lose the weight. I got down to, it was the first time I've ever been below 200 pounds, probably since I was like 18, which was wild. And I went into that tournament feeling really, really good. It was a local tournament, so it's a lot of people were around me. So it's a lot of people who entered that tournament, I don't think took it as seriously as I had prepared, and because of that, I felt like I had a really significant athletic advantage over the people I competed against. And the only challenges I really faced were like technical. If someone knew something I didn't know, then it would be tough for me to find my way out. But like in the video that you posted where I was like body slamming somebody, like I got bumped up a weight division. So actually I lost the weight and it didn't matter because I got put in the weight division above me because they combined our divisions. They just decided. So that guy was a weight division above me, and I was able to like pick him up and throw him on the ground without really like having any worry. It wasn't like I was in the most technical position, to be honest. It wasn't a technical throw. I just kind of picked him up and threw him down. That comes from having like the putting in the work beforehand and getting stronger. Yeah, it took me, I definitely attribute the training off the mat as much as I do on the mat to being able to take that gold home. Fronts there, one, like if I needed to change exercises or like if I needed advice on how to do something, a lot of times like I would take a video of the exercise and send it to you. And it was like, I mean, usually within a day, but like if not, definitely well before I would do that exercise again, like the next week in the program, I would have feedback on it, and like we'd record it again and see if I like made the switch that you wanted me to make. Sometimes I was good at that. Sometimes I'd have a thick skull and like had to do it probably once or twice or 3 times. But there was that, but then also something that I think you get from that I got from you that I don't think you always get from online coaching is like you kind of like asked for accountability. So it'd be like, I want to see the videos to like, to me, like I didn't feel like you were like, I don't believe you're not doing it, but it was for me, it was like, like kind of holding myself accountable. Like if I don't go to the gym today and I don't get a video of me doing my reps, then like it's not that I'm gonna get in trouble, but like I have to deal with the fact that I let myself down, and like I let my coach down by not putting in the work that we wrote it down. We made the contract, like, and like now I'm being held to like actually accomplishing it to get to the goals that I want to get to. In my head, if you have a goal for, especially like if you have a sports related goal, where you want to get better at a sport that you've been doing, or in like a sport that you have never really competed in before, having a coach will give you an edge that other people won't have. And like everyone who's on a professional sports team has a coach. For every part of their athletic journey, there's someone helping, there's someone who's a professional in that part of their journey to guide them through it. You can't expect that you're going to be your expert. You have a coach for basketball, you have a coach for volleyball, I have a coach for my jiu-jitsu. When I'm on the mat, like when I'm in the gym, like you should have a coach too if you really want to like push to a limit. So definitely if you've got a sports goal, 100% you should definitely get a coach. And I think like obviously I chose you because I think I knew that I had results in the past from like getting way stronger and way better at cheer. So I knew we could do it again for a different modality. I guess I'd say like just if maybe it'll fold into one of the videos you do, like for the personal training side, I think it's just as important or more important than if you're chasing a sports goal for your life. Like if your goal is to get in shape, like having a coach to guide you through it. A lot of people go through years of saying they're gonna get in better shape and improve the way they feel, and they don't do it because they don't have someone to hold them accountable, and they don't have someone who can help them when they face the first, like it's going to be hard multiple times throughout your journey of getting in shape. So I think that's even more important. Like you should definitely have someone in your corner when you want to get in better shape and feel better about yourself. Like when you move better, when you're stronger and more flexible, you're going to feel better, and it's going to make your life easier, and you're going to live longer. So I think that part, like those videos that you posted with like people who are like getting better, like outside of a sport, like that's, I think, far more important than like getting a gold medal in jiu-jitsu. Like, and you can't even go towards, I think, like those strong, like those crazy athletic goals without baseline, like feeling good.